So, you walk out of the vet clinic. Bill says $312. You've got a little brown bottle with a name you can't even pronounce, an orange spray, and a pill your dog isn't going to want to take. Now, what if I told you the $312 brown bottle sitting on your kitchen counter right now, same active ingredient, same percentage, same exact job, is sitting on the shelf at Tractor Supply for $22.99 with no appointment, no copay, no markup. And here's the part that's really going to get you. Tractor Supply is not even the cheapest place to get it. Yeah, you heard me. But that's not even the part that's going to get you, because today we're going to be walking through Tractor Supply. And I mean in the actual store. Same aisle you walk down every time in what I call the updated 2024 QBN Tractor Supply Yeast Protocol. 3 products in the store, 1 product that meets you at Kroger, and a foundation that's already sitting in your dog's bowl. Together, they can replace a $312 veterinary prescription. Stick around. By the end of this video, you're going to have an exact shopping list, the exact dilution ratios, and I guarantee you, you're never going to look at that brown bottle the same way again. Now, let me walk you through what actually happened at the vet visit you just walked out of. You walked in. The vet tech took your dog back. The vet walked in and did the same routine every vet does. Looked at your dog, did one of those quick skin scrape slides, slid it under the microscope, then sat down and wrote you a prescription. That exam fee alone, that's anywhere between $70 to $150, depending on where you are in the country. Then they handed you the medicated shampoo. Add another $60 to $100 on top of that. If your dog has active yeast overgrowth, you're getting an oral antifungal too, somewhere between $80 and $180. And if it's bad, and I mean really bad, where the yeast has migrated into the ears, now we're talking about an additional ear medication on top of the rest of it. Can't make this up. We're at $312 without even trying. The entire joke of the whole thing is, the active ingredient they charged you $300 for and the $22.99 sitting 3 miles down the road at Tractor Supply are the same. Freaking molecule. Here's something I need you to understand before I show you anything in the aisle. Your vet is not wrong. They told you the right stuff to use. I'm not here to tell you your vet is the enemy. They're paying off student loans, they've got a staff to feed, and the pharmacy markup is what it is. I'm just here to tell you that the active ingredient they prescribed, chlorhexidine gluconate 2% DA, is sitting in a green bottle in aisle 7 of Tractor Supply for $22.99 with no prescription, no copay, and no markup. That's the difference. Same molecule, different label, different receipt. But before I show you a single product on the shelf, I need to stop because I already know what most of you are going to do. You're going to grab the chlorhexidine and the apple cider vinegar and head home with them. You're going to use them for 2 to 3 weeks. The itching slows down, the smell goes away, and you're feeling pretty good about yourself. And then, 6 weeks from now, it's back. And you're going to be standing in the same shampoo aisle, wagging that finger at me. Here's why that happens. And this is the part most people don't know. Chlorhexidine actually does 3 jobs. It kills bacteria on the surface. It kills fungus, which is the yeast your dog is fighting. But the 3rd job, and this is the one most prescriptions don't sit down and explain, it destroys biofilm. Biofilm is basically an invisible armor yeast builds after it colonizes. It's the reason the same infection keeps coming back 6, 8, 10 weeks later, even when the surface looks clean. Chlorhexidine will knock that armor down, but only if you give it contact time. If you rinse in 30 seconds, you got 2 out of 3 jobs done. That's the trap. That's why the $312 prescription worked the first time and stopped working the second time. So when I ask myself, what would it look like if I built a protocol around that 3rd job, biofilm, and stacked it with 3 other products that each do 1 job everyone else is ignoring? That's when the QBN Tractor Supply Yeast Protocol makes sense. But first things first, before I reach for a single shampoo, a single drop of vinegar, a single can of sardines in this protocol, there's one thing already sitting in our dog bowls every morning at QBN, and that's New Vet Plus and New Joint DS. That's the foundation. Before the surface, I'm already working on the inside. The multivitamin gap, the immune gap, the joint gap, the antioxidant layer. Why does that matter? Because when it comes to yeast, the surface fight and the inside fight have to happen at the same time, or the surface fight loses. I'm going to come back to New Vet and New Joint at the end. But for now, just remember, when you see the 4 products today, you're not buying 4 random things. You're building a protocol around a foundation that's already working on the inside. Let me show you how it works. So I want you to take a look right here. That's chlorhexidine gluconate. It's 2%. Right there on the front label. Now look at the prescription lineup your vet writes for. Malaseb, Chlorhex 2X, Triz Chlor. Even the higher-end veterinary dermatology lines. What's the active? 2% chlorhexidine. Or chlorhexidine paired with miconazole. Or chlorhexidine paired with ketoconazole. The expensive bottles add the antifungal to cover a slightly broader spectrum. But for most dogs whose yeast is sitting on the surface, redness, itching, hot spots, that greasy smell, chlorhexidine 2% alone at the right contact time gets you the same battlefield result. And it's $9.99 for the 8-ounce bottle, $22.99 for the bigger 16-ounce bottle. Same $22.99 bottle that smells like a swimming pool. Yeah, that smell means it's working. How do you actually apply it? Now, you're not using this like a regular shampoo. You're not lathering up and rinsing. Contact time is the entire game. Work it into a lather. Get into the skin folds, the paw pads, the underbelly, the armpits, the groin. And then just let it sit. 5 to 10 minutes. Set a phone timer if you have to. 5 to 10 minutes. That's the contact window chlorhexidine needs to actually punch through the biofilm and reach the yeast colony underneath. Without that contact time, you're just rinsing the surface. You're getting job 1 done. You needed all 3. After 10 minutes, rinse clean. In the active yeast phase, 2 to 3 times a week. Once the skin calms, drop to once a week as maintenance. Now come with me. Next product, right over here. Diatomaceous earth. You've probably never seen this in a dog video before, so let me tell you exactly what you're looking at. This is nothing more than fossilized algae. They've been using this in livestock and agriculture for decades, which is exactly why Tractor Supply carries it, and not in the dog section. Notice I'm not even over here by the dog shampoo. I'm over here in the horse section, and over here by the chicken section, because diatomaceous earth is given to chickens, and you can use it to dust your whole yard if you've got fleas and ticks. They sell it in the bigger bags, as you can see. First thing I need you to hear before you hear anything else about this product. This is food grade. Food grade. Make sure the bag says food grade. Food grade means it's been purified. Pool grade has been chemically treated for swimming pools and filters. Pool grade can damage your dog's lungs. If the bag says pool, put it back. Here's what this does inside the QBN protocol. You can dust a small amount onto your dog's skin and coat and work it down to the skin with your hands. What it's doing is it keeps away the external parasites, fleas, ticks, mites that crack the surface of the skin. Because every flea bite is a crack in the brick wall, and every crack in the brick wall is a brand new door for yeast to walk right back in. While the chlorhexidine is killing the yeast on the surface, the diatomaceous earth is making sure no parasite is breaking that surface and giving yeast a fresh door to walk through. Mechanically, not chemically. They cannot adapt to it. Under a microscope, the diatom shells are basically tiny glass shards. If a flea or a mite crawls across them, the shards slice the exoskeleton and they dehydrate. Doesn't work on contact poison, it works on physics. 2 ways to apply it. External, once a week, dusted onto the coat, worked down to the skin. Internal, half a teaspoon in food for dogs under 50 pounds, a full teaspoon for dogs over 50 pounds, once a day, mixed in. No smell, no taste. Picky eaters won't know it's there. Inside the gut, it doubles as a mechanical dewormer against roundworms and whipworms. 1 warning before you touch it. Do the dusting outside, or in a garage, or in any ventilated space. Keep it away from your face and your dog's face. If they breathe the dust in, it can irritate their airways and yours. Same dust, same warning, every time. Now here's what's actually happening in your dog's skin, and this is the part most vets don't sit down and explain. Picture your dog's skin as a brick wall. Every skin cell is a brick. The lipids between the cells, those omega oils, those fats, are the mortar. When the wall is sealed, every brick is tight. There's no gap. There's no leak. Yeast cannot get through. But when your dog has been dealing with chronic yeast for a while, even just a single season, that mortar has cracked out. There are gaps, and those gaps is exactly where the yeast walks right back in every single time you give your dog a bath. You washed it off the surface, you left holes in the wall, and yeast walked right back in. That's exactly what this next product fixes, and I'm talking about none other than sardines. Yeah, sardines. Now, I had to leave Tractor Supply and come to the grocery store. That is because most of the fish oils at Tractor Supply are made out of salmon. The problem with salmon is that it lives longer than a year, and fish that live longer than a year accumulate higher mercury levels. The FDA's own commercial fish data puts sardines at roughly 0.013 parts per million mercury versus salmon at 0.014, and the bigger predators climb far higher. Mercury at low levels over time messes with your dog's nervous system. That's why I opt for sardines. Short lifespan, bottom of the food chain, negligible mercury. Cheap, a can is a couple of bucks. The omega-3 fatty acids, DHA and EPA, in sardines actively rebuild the lipid layer in your dog's skin. That's the mortar. That's the cracked out, leaky mortar in the brick wall. Yeah, that. It fills in the gaps from the inside out. That's the part the shampoo cannot do. Shampoo works on the outside. Sardines work from the inside. It brings down the redness, brings down the itching, brings down that hot feeling your dog keeps scratching at 3 in the morning. Now, this next one, a lot of people miss because it's not in the pet section. You can find it anywhere. As you can see, I had to leave Tractor Supply again because you cannot find apple cider vinegar there. But this is super cheap. We're talking $6-7. Apple cider vinegar. With the mother. The mother is important because that's where the actual culture is. The good bacteria. Make sure the label says raw, unfiltered, with the mother. Look at the very bottom of the bottle. You can see it sitting there. That brown cloud. That's the part you're paying for. Here's what this does between baths. You cannot bathe your dog every single day. If you did, you'd be stripping away the very mortar the sardines are trying to rebuild. But yeast keeps growing in between baths, in the hot spots, between the paw pads, under the armpits, around the skin folds. Apple cider vinegar changes the pH on the skin. Yeast cannot thrive in a low pH environment. The acid creates a hostile surface yeast cannot multiply on. Published research on canine Malassezia pachydermatis, the main species driving skin yeast in dogs, confirms it is lipid-dependent, surface-colonizing, and highly sensitive to shifts in the surface pH and barrier lipids. Drop the pH, you drop the population. How do you dilute it? 50-50. 1 part water, 1 part apple cider vinegar. You can put it in a spray bottle, you can put it on a cotton ball. Either way. Now, 3 areas you absolutely do not touch with this. Eyes. Ears if you've got an active infection with broken skin. Anywhere the skin is raw. Keep it on intact skin only. Hot spots. Spray daily with the 50-50 mix. It's mild, it will not burn, but it will reset the pH and slow the yeast reproduction down to almost nothing between baths. Now let's go over the full shopping list. We're talking about the updated QBN Tractor Supply and Kroger Yeast Protocol. Chlorhexidine 2% shampoo at Tractor Supply. Food-grade diatomaceous earth at Tractor Supply, apple cider vinegar with the mother at Kroger, and canned sardines in water, no salt added, at Kroger. I'm going to pin the entire protocol in the first comment below. Product names, exact doses, exact dilution, the full thing in writing. Hit save on that comment. Each product does one job. Chlorhexidine kills on the surface and breaks the biofilm. Diatomaceous earth blocks external parasites and repairs gut lining. Sardines rebuild the lipid mortar from the inside. Apple cider vinegar changes the skin pH, so yeast cannot multiply between baths. 4 products, 4 jobs. That's the entire surface protocol, and it works for most dogs. But here's what none of the 4 products do. They don't fill the multivitamin gap. They don't cover joint support. They don't activate the immune layer. They don't give your dog the antioxidant support that everything you just built needs to actually hold. That's the gap. And the only thing I've found that fills it in a single daily dose is NuVet Plus and NuJoint DS. NuVet Plus covers the immune gap and the antioxidant layer. NuJoint DS covers the joints and doubles as a powerful anti-inflammatory for the whole body. And together, they give your dog the inside skin barrier the surface protocol needs to actually hold. 1 wafer, once a day. That's it. Just NuVet in the morning, weight-based NuJoint as directed. That's the foundation underneath everything we just walked through. And honestly, before I ever reach for a shampoo, that is already in the bowl. If you're watching this on TV, get your phone out. I'm going to drop a QR code on this screen, tap it, it takes you straight to the order page, and when you order on AutoShip, you stack another 13% off. Now, before I let you go, I need to say one thing almost nobody is saying right now. Everything I showed you today is the surface layer. And if your dog has a mild yeast issue, this protocol is going to do a whole lot of good. I mean that. For some of you watching right now, your dog's yeast has been coming back for months. You've already tried the shampoos, you've changed the food, you've done every single thing the vet told you, and it keeps coming back. But here's the truth. If it keeps coming back, the surface is not even where the problem lives. What's going on is way deeper. It's in a place that nobody even thinks to look. And it's not the skin, it's not the ears, it's not the food. I got a video that tells you exactly where yeast begins in your dog's body. And once you watch that one, you can't unwatch it. Meaning the information you get from it, you will never forget. And everything I showed you today will click into place at once. That video you see on the screen right now, make sure you watch that next. Otherwise, you only got half the answer. It's been raw from the queue. I'll be catching you right here.